Tens of thousands of people have attempted to flee Afghanistan since the Taliban swept into the capital. And those who are still in Afghanistan now are turning defiant. Stronger signs of defiance are starting to emerge as the protests against the Taliban have moved to Kabul, where to mark the country's independence anniversary. Protesters waved Afghan flags at scattered rallies. As Afghans celebrated Independence Day and some commemorated the Shiite Ashura festival, a group of men and women unfurled the black, red and green tricolour national flag of the country's independence anniversary. Social media also showed a crowd cheering a man shimming up a pole in another neighbourhood before tying the flag at the top. But the Taliban, who have raised their own black and white standard over government buildings, have already signalled they will not stand for any challenges. Taliban fighters have responded violently as they face down growing challenges to their rule. On Wednesday, Taliban fighters broke up a flag-waving rally in Jalalabad with gunfire. The demonstrations were a remarkable show of defiance after the Taliban fighters violently dispersed them. Taliban leaders have repeatedly vowed not to take revenge against their opponents while seeking to project an image of tolerance. But memories of the Taliban's brutal regime of the 1990s have caused panic about what lies ahead for Afghans. Taliban had banned music and television. People were stoned to death and women confined to their homes. Another procession of cars and people near Kabul's airport carried long black, red and green banners in honor of the Afghan flag, a banner that is becoming a symbol of defiance. Video posted on social media showed people fleeing as Taliban fighters fired their rifles. It wasn't immediately clear if there were any casualties, but at another protest in Nangarhar province, a video posted online showed a bleeding demonstrator with a gunshot wound. In Khost province, Taliban authorities instituted a 24-hour curfew after violently breaking up another protest. As protests against the takeover spread to more cities, the Taliban have called on Afghanistan's imams to urge unity when they hold their first Friday prayer since the takeover. And for more on this, our correspondent Anas Malik is joining us live from Kabul. Anas, thank you so much for joining us. What can you tell us about the situation on the ground? Also, I want to ask you about some of the key areas where unrest is happening.
Well, the situation on ground by and large remains tense because with regards to that Afghan flag, yesterday we saw the Afghan Taliban declaring the country as an emirate, and that was a departure from the actual stance of how the country had been, which was declared as a republic back in 2001 when President Karzai took over. Remember, it is pertinent to mention that when the Taliban were in power back in 90s, they had been been running the country as an emirate, as an Islamic emirate. So after that, we saw yesterday we saw that there was the Independence Day as well, and a lot of people came out in defiance with the Afghan flag. They said that they don't want the flag to be changed as well. There is no clarity on that because the Afghan Taliban have not officially announced the change of flag. We saw that being furled, we saw that being folded at the Afghan presidential palace on Sunday when the Taliban men went inside the Afghan presidential palace, but formally there has been no announcement with regards to the change of flag. We saw violent protests happening, first that being in Jalalabad day before, then there was in Khost yesterday there was a curfew that was imposed in Khost as well, and then the Taliban governor of Khost had to come out and say that they have no issues with the flag. So by and large, this is a symbol of defiance by the Afghan people to the Afghan Taliban that they will not be giving up their flag, which remains their identity as well.
Right. Anas, also another important point here is while they are seeking to project an image of tolerance, the Taliban is now conducting targeted door-to-door visits in a bid to locate people who assisted US and NATO forces. This despite them saying that they will not seek revenge. How do you see this unfolding? Also, as you mentioned earlier, there have been images and videos of violence that have emerged now. Anas, what I'm asking you is, while they are trying to project an image of tolerance, the Taliban is conducting targeted door-to-door visits in a bid to locate people. This after saying that they will not seek revenge. We have seen the images of violence and videos of violence posted on social media. How do you see the situation unfolding on that front? WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.